view of socialism.
It is my view that the Labour Party is both a socialist and a social democratic party. I am very happy, as John Smith was, to call myself a socialist.
Well, it'd certainly be a socialist party, but I don't think you can model yourselves on particular leaders because they were right at that particular point in time.
Democratic socialism, as defined by certain key beliefs and values, is not merely alive, it now has an historic opportunity to give leadership. It is, if you like, literally socialism.
Did anybody appeal to you in particular?
I think Blair actually encompassed.
Yeah.
Blair is actually the man who's actually, you said across the board, you know, in answer to your question, it's actually Blair who's encompassed the whole lot.
I've knocked Blair since I've been here.
Yes.
With his Robin Reliant and what have you. But the last bit he said there was about individuals and the socialism, which meant more to me just breaking that one word up, relating it to individuals than anything else that anybody else said.
But isn't that what Margaret Beckett said?
Maybe did, but she didn't put it over as well as he did.
At the end of both sessions, Laura Helm, who's conducted focus groups for both sides of Britain's political divide, reflects on their lessons for the Labour Party.
What struck me first of all was in fact the two groups were incredibly similar to each other. In fact, there was no north-south divide at all. Both groups were almost identical in the political issues that were helping shape their voting intentions. The other way in which they were very similar was, of course, that they both came out at the end of the day saying that Tony Blair would be the man best suited to take Labour to victory in the next general election. However, the most interesting point out of the whole exercise for me took place in the Harlow group, where we had some very strong Prescott supporters. And after being exposed to Blair on video, having a look at his policies, etc., they actually swapped allegiance.
At a hustings meeting in London tonight, Tony Blair continues his campaign knowing he's the front runner. But if he does become party leader, then our group suggests that he must take care. A common theme among everyone we spoke to is that slagging off the Tories won't be enough to win Labour the next election. The party must set out its own stall, and in some detail, if it's not to risk losing key target voters. The goodwill that Tony Blair undoubtedly enjoys today may not last. It is strictly conditional on how he uses his authority.
Peter Kellner. Well, time for a quick look at the papers. Sharp divide. All the heavies have gone on Arafat, from the Independent to the Telegraph, the FT and the Guardian, whereas the tabloids have gone on the story of the bogus nurse stealing the new 4-hour-old baby. Well, that's all from Newsnight for tonight. We'll be back on Monday night at the later time of 11. Until then, from all of us on the programme, have a very pleasant weekend. Good night to you.
Back. Nigel Mansell in the French Grand Prix. Live coverage on Sunday, 12:30 on BBC1.
If these animals could speak, they'd tell some very different stories. Life in the forgotten zoos of Eastern Europe, where heroic keepers protect the animals from a people starved by natural disaster and ethnic bloodletting. Gerald Durrell's dream of creative conservation, sanctuaries for the world's most endangered species. Fast forward to the future and life as it could be with the animals in the wild, breeding stock in test tubes and visitors in virtual reality. The tragedy of Belgium's slum zoos. BBC2 exposes the dark side of the state of the art. A remarkable new series begins Thursday at 9:30.
Now on BBC2, Peter Cushing heads the cast of Rudolph Cartier's classic drama adaptation of George Orwell's 1984. This production was made in 1954 and was certainly a shocking piece of theatre for its time.
This is one man's alarmed vision of the future. A future which he felt might, with such dangerous ease, be brought about.